How's it going, everybody? Francisco Bolenia here. Welcome back to another beat making video. And boy, have I got a story to tell you. First of all, before we even begin, you notice on the side I finally have my synths labeled. Well, unfortunately, that is not the case. Because the fact that Cakewalk still hasn't finished the naming conventions bug, I unfortunately had to, I had to rename everything manually, and it really sucks because, first of all, it's a waste of my time, and it's a waste of anybody's time who's trying to get a song done. Anyway, so I did work on a song at the moment. The song is called Feelings, and the song is actually inspired by Armin van Buuren, in which he did a collab with Nadia Ali. And the song it was called Feel So Good. I don't know why, I just really like the guitar part and the electric piano, so I attempted to replicate that, and you're definitely going to be hearing that. But on with the story. So, something funny that you guys should know. A few years ago, I worked with a music software that you all probably know as Music Creator 6. Now, during that time, I unfortunately lost lots of plugins. And it really hurts me because I lost a lot of sounds during my music progress. I don't know how, but let's just say that there were some VSTs that were corrupt because they were missing some files and such. I really don't know how it works. But bottom line, when I was working with Music Creator 6, I did lose a couple of VSTs along the way. 3 of them were the Applied Acoustics bundle, in which I get Lounge Lizard, Ultra Analog, and the Strum Acoustic. Those 3 I lost completely when I had Music Creator 6, and I had no recourse to pretty much re-download them because the softwares now are pretty much their history. So what I did was I went to the Applied Acoustics website. I unfortunately had to buy them back. So now they're finally in Cakewalk. And that's a good thing because now I have the latest version of those 3 plugins which I lost. Plus, I got a lot of new ones, including the industry standard plugins. That's right. You've heard me. The industry standard plugins. Now, literally, you guys are probably thinking, okay, this guy had to crack. He had to crack it through a uTorrent or something. Unfortunately, no. That is not true. I can tell you right now, I've played with the actual demo versions for the past couple of years. Yes, I did feel limited, but I did get comfortable with the instrument so that the day I buy it, I get it. And you can see on the side, I have a lot of them. I have Silent One. Yes, before you guys even say anything, this is legit. I bought it. And Massive, obviously, it is signed under me. There's no watermarks or anything of Tina sign or anything like that. This is legit. Let me just go back out here to my standard patches, and we can get started. So as you can see, yeah, a lot of new synths. And another big update. Finally, after many long years of playing this instrument, I have finally updated my Jupiter 8 to the latest version. That's right, Arturia Jupiter 8 version 3. So this is my new Arturia Jupiter. All the sounds are still there. The only biggest difference is the layout is completely different. But hey, at least it's better than not having a Jupiter 8V at all. And of course, I actually got a brand new Arturia plugin, but we'll get to that in a sec. So basically, for this track, I used 11 tracks. This is by far the biggest project I've ever worked on as far as using tracks. And like I said, I've used a lot of new VSTs. I mean, these are VSTs that I've never even used in a standard beat making video. Well, except for 2 except one was pretty much outdated, and we already know it's the Jupiter 8V. But there is one that you might notice. It's the Beat Factory drums. You all know it as the 80s kit from First Encounters. But before we do all that, let's just jump right into the video. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to enable my audio engine because I have it disabled at the moment. And let's get to it. So first sound, I'm just going to solo that. And the first sound comes from an old classic Music Creator 6 plugin that I unfortunately lost during those days. And that's Lounge Lizard Session 4. This thing is really good, especially for electric pianos if you want to do something like that. Usually it's not my cup of tea, but because I wanted to go for, classic Armin van Buuren, an unusual vibe, I pretty much went for the Lounge Lizard. So take a listen. So yeah, you recognize that from the song Feels So Good featuring Nadia Ali. And you know what? I love that tune. I've been playing it in my reviews. I've been playing it a lot recently, and I just had to have it inside a song. I'm sorry, but I was obsessed with this melody, and I couldn't stop until I get it done. So yeah, that was Lounge Lizard. I chose classic electric piano. I chose classic electric piano. I played with the reverb, as well as the hammer action, because the hammer action obviously adjusts the attack of the electric piano. It was a bit too hard at first, so I had to pretty much tone it down a bit to make it more weaker as far as the attack was concerned. But, all in all, at the end of the day, it sounds like this. Alright, next track. You all know this one. It's the Beat Factory drums, the 80s kit. You all saw it from First Encounters. Once again, I used exactly the same kit. I used a dubstep kit. And this time, I actually played with the arpeggio. I turned it on, and you pretty much get this sound. Let me just adjust my time division here. So right away, I'm just hitting a pad. And I got the arpeggio on. I can even latch it if I want to, but for this case, I'm not going to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to solo these two tracks because they're all for one. They're both drums. One is pretty much the kick. The other one is pretty much the hi-hat. And as you can see down here, I've actually done the leveling and all the adjustments. So, there's nothing more I can do except pretty much mix it down, master it. But anyway, this is what the kick drum sounds like. And now I'm going to kick in the hi-hats next. Okay, so for the kick drum, I did not really use anything, and not even for the hi-hats. I did not use any effects whatsoever, and what I pretty much did was I pretty much leveled them according to the sound volume. Because the thing is, when you're doing a dance track, one thing that Armin van Buuren always told me, you have to make sure you have the kick and the bass sounding perfect together. And if you have a kick and a bass and they're fighting over each other, it starts distorting, adding up, and clipping. And honestly, I do not want any of that. So I pretty much, like I said, I adjusted the levels accordingly. As of now, it's sounding fine, but I mean, I'm gonna have to work on the mix down just to, see if everything is running properly. This next track is actually another brand new plugin. In fact, it's actually a brand new plugin and I never used. It's called the Clap Machine. And basically, it's very simple to use VST. You pretty much have the attack, the release, you have the volume knob, reverb. I pretty much killed the reverb because I didn't want any reverb. I mean, too much reverb would be too much, and it's just a very simple VST. I pretty much used a couple of notes here, or was it? And you notice when I'm hitting the key, you get different claps, all in different frequencies, velocities, you name it. So this is definitely one of the easiest VSTs that you can pretty much pick up, and it's free. You can find it at thepluginboutique.com. So yeah, it's pretty much straightforward, simple, and this is what the claps sound like. Now again, the problem was they were too strong, so I had to tone it down with the leveling and what have you. Alright, next track. Track number 5. Again, I've said it since earlier this video, I got a new plugin from Arturia. Now, honestly, when I saw the sequential Prophet 5 making its return, I'm sorry, I could not resist picking up the Prophet V. This thing is a freaking killer. I mean, it really is. It is by far the most affordable Prophet synth I can ever pick up as far as analog programmable synths are concerned. I mean, I could have gone for the Repro, but I mean, the Arturia one was definitely cheaper. And I mean, what can I say? I got it in a bundle deal. I got the Prophet 5, the Prophet V, along with the Jupiter 8 update. So basically, I got 2 for the price of 1. So I got an upgrade and a new synth, which is nice. And of course, I'm pretty much paying for the same price. So it's a win-win for me. It really is. So I chose this patch. It's called Fascination. And this is what Prophet V sounds like. Alright, so that was Prophet V. Brand new instrument from Arturia that I picked up. I mean, it's not new, but I love it. I want to use it more often. And like I said, I mean, this is definitely one of those fanboy squealing moments where I'm excited to see the return of the actual Prophet 5. The Dave Smith Sequential Circuits Prophet 5. And I mean, it's really nice to finally be able to play one of those vintage instruments that you never got a chance to own, and you probably never will because of how freaking expensive it is. But hey, at least I got close to it with the Prophet V, and I'm very grateful for Arturia that they made it, along with Jupiter 8, CS80. Let's move on to the next track. Next track. This is one of those other plugins that unfortunately I lost during the Music Creator 6 era. This is Strum Acoustic, or Strum Session as they now call it. Strum Session 4, this is the new version. I chose Dreadnought as my guitar. And I pretty much played with the delay, the reverb, and of course, I played a bit with the chorus as well. So this is what the guitar sounds like. Okay, so for this track, in fact, let's open up the other tracks for a sec. Okay, so for these two tracks, the Prophet 5 and the Strum Session, I used reverb for Prophet 5. And what I did was I chose the announcer as my preset. And of course, it's set to the hall. So I've never used this plugin before. This is the very first time I ever use it. And I chose a... what was it? I chose Going, Going, Gong as my preset. So that's what I'm using currently for the guitars. Let's move on to the next track. Let's go back a bit. Okay, so next track is Silent. Silent 1. You guys probably think I cracked it. No. I would never crack software. Let me tell you why. For the past couple of months, I've played the actual demo. And that's the thing. I usually play the demo versions of these actual plugins. The reason why is because once I ever get the budget, then I can afford it and go for the license key. Now, usually the reason why I play the demo is to get acquainted with the actual synth so that when I ever do want to make a song and I do want to purchase the synth, it gives me the freedom and opportunity. Now, of course, I am shackled to a few instruments, features being lost, but that doesn't stop me from exploring. And this is one piece of advice that I would give all beginners. If you really want to go for a specific plugin, excluding Omnisphere, because I know Omnisphere doesn't have a demo whatsoever, I can tell you right now, if you are looking at a EDM type synth, whether it be Silent, Nexus, Massive, there are definitely demo versions available. Especially the Arturias. There are demos available, which give you enough time and enough practice to master the synth, so that when you buy it, it's ready for you. So I chose Unison Bass as my bass sound. I actually activated the arpeggio. I did not activate the arpeggio from the Max 49. I used the silent arpeggio. So let's play it back and let's see what it sounds like. And one beautiful thing that I really love about the Silent is the fact that I can gate an arpeggio just like I would with the Nexus. As of now, Nexus and Silent are the only two synths that allow me to gate an arpeggio. And it's really nice, it really is. Alright, next track. Next track, you probably know it, you're probably very familiar with it. I recently reviewed it. And I actually reviewed it twice. Once because it was buggy, second time because the bug has been fixed. You know it as Synology Pro. Now, obviously, I've chosen Sochestra. It is a Factory A bank, and it is a synth pad and string. I love the Rolling Cloud. I have 6 instruments with them, and their stuff just keeps getting better and better and better as far as my eyes and ears are concerned, because I mean these synths, they're really beautiful. I mean, I love the interface and I love the sounds. So Synology Pro, this is what it sounds like. Okay, no more Synology. I don't want to have another dropout here. Let's move on to another new synth. This is one that I've really been wanting to try. Unlike the last track that I did, First Encounters, where I had no intentions of playing the synth master player there, this next synth I did have interest in trying out because of how fat the sound is. Hive II. And once again, I did play the demo. I've spent 2 weeks with Hive II, and it really is a killer of a synth. I mean, it's deep. Definitely deep. I chose a... Hold on, Okay. BJN Flohupferl. I don't know how to spell it. I probably butchered it. I added the arpeggio, and another big feature, again, I can gate it. So make that 3 instruments that I can gate with an arpeggio for dance music. So this is what the Hive sounds like. Sounds really nice. I love it. It's very fat. Alright, next track. Basically, everybody calls it the Dubstep King. Massive. This was definitely a synth that I've been wanting to pick up since forever. I mean, I could have gone for the Massive X, but I love the original Massive because it has all the crazy sounds that I can use. I can basically use this for dubstep, and I do have plans to make some dubstep music. Not at the moment, but hey, at least I got a chance to use it, and I am enjoying it. I really am. So, yeah, I chose Squirrel as my pad, and I pretty much played it during the bridge. So we can actually hear what it sounds like. I did not make any adjustments whatsoever, but this is what it sounds like. All right. So, final track. This is, as I said, I pretty much got the Prophet V along with Jupiter 8 version 3. So, yeah, this is my brand new Arturia Jupiter 8. You won't be seeing the other Jupiter 8 anymore because, I mean, this is now the current version, version 3. The previous one I had was version 2. Now it's pretty much a cross grade, so you'll be seeing this version from now on. Because, I mean, it's now the industry standard for Arturia Jupiter 8. I chose what was the patch? I chose Astral Voices. And before we actually get into these, let me just check to see if I had any... okay, so I just remembered. Silent, I did use a plugin. It's called Replica. Definitely a very good reverb as far as my ears are concerned. I chose it to modular. I set it to MS. I played a bit with the saturation, not too much because I mean I've seen a lot of videos of memes where people use this thing called a sausage fattener. I mean, I don't have anything against Data Life or anybody that uses it, but I'd rather play it safe with saturation stuff, and this is definitely a good one, especially for if you're trying to make some dance music. You really want your EQs to pop. So Replica is definitely a good one to use, and it's Cakewalk exclusive, so it's really nice. Then what other effects did I add? I think that's about it. So I pretty much used 3 effects. And so yeah, Jupiter 8V, Astral Voices. This is what it sounds like. And that is the only time you will ever hear the Jupiter 8V in this entire track. And finally, just to close, let's crank everything to max, like all the synths to max level, because now we just want to hear what this thing sounds like. The levels are going to stay as they are, and let's play it back. You honestly thought I was going to play you the entire track. I don't think so. The song is going to be out in a couple of minutes, so stay tuned. I'll be releasing the song as well as this beat making video. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So what an amazing journey it's been. I mean, lots of new VSTs, a couple of upgrades, and now it is finally official. All of my VSTs have been upgraded to the latest version. So all my old VSTs, you won't be seeing those anymore. I can guarantee you that. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining me in this beat making video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.